Hello, I'm Richard Feynman. People often remember me for my contributions to physics, but what mattered most to me was curiosity, the endless desire to understand how things work. I was born in 1918 in Queens, New York, and from a very young age, I had this constant itch to figure things out. My father encouraged me to ask questions, no matter how simple or complex. I often found myself taking things apart just to see how they worked. That urge to understand the world, that excitement of discovery, it never left me. As I grew older and studied physics, I felt drawn to the mysteries of the universe, especially the strange world of quantum mechanics. During World War II, I was invited to work on the Manhattan Project. At the time, I was filled with a sense of responsibility but also a lot of fear. We were building the atomic bomb, a weapon that could change the world forever. There were moments where I questioned if we were doing the right thing. But we were all driven by the belief that if we didn't do it, someone else would. After the war, I went back to what I loved, solving problems. I couldn't stop thinking about how particles interact at the smallest scales. That's where I found my calling in quantum electrodynamics, or QED for short. I remember the thrill of it. The diagrams I came up with, which later became known as Feynman diagrams, allowed us to visualize these complex particle interactions in a way that made sense, even though we were dealing with things we couldn't see. Winning the Nobel Prize in 1965 was an incredible honor, but it was never about the prize for me. What drove me was the joy of figuring things out, solving puzzles, and teaching others. I loved showing students that physics wasn't just a bunch of formulas, it was a way of thinking about the world. I also found joy in the most unexpected places, playing the bongos, painting, and even cracking safes during my time at Los Alamos. For me, curiosity didn't stop at physics. I wanted to understand everything, even the things that seemed far removed from science. One of the hardest moments of my life came in 1986 when I was asked to be part of the investigation into the Challenger disaster. It was a tragic event, and being a part of that commission weighed heavily on me. But I knew I had to get to the truth. When I discovered that the O-rings had failed because of the cold temperatures, I felt a mix of sadness and anger. It was preventable, and yet it happened. Looking back, I never set out to change the world. I was just a kid from Queens who wanted to know why things worked the way they did. Yet, my work has had a lasting impact on how we understand the fundamental forces of nature. The joy I felt from discovery, from asking, why, and how, is something I hope others continue to feel. The legacy I leave behind isn't just in the equations and diagrams, but in the spirit of curiosity. Science is about keeping an open mind and never being afraid to ask questions, no matter how small or strange they may seem. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. If you enjoyed this journey through my life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It's free. Who should we explore next? Let me know in the comments below.